I don't know that I remember a more significant defensive shakeup in a game of that magnitude.
All right, we're doing it here. What do we call this area? The fishbowl?
Like that, yeah.
Did you just break?
No, I didn't break it.
Hey guys, this is TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs in the Rollo Insurance. Well, the Rollo Insurance Studios over here. We're in the fishbowl. Kate's been helping out. Riley, we got Carson. We got everybody say hi. There's too many people to name. I didn't really expect you guys to wave. Matthew Dawson, the piece. So fun show today. I was even commenting before we were doing some jiu-jitsu conversations back here that it was an easy show to do, right? Because all good vibes, all about Aggie baseball. Carson, what did you learn on the show today? Yell it or tell it here. Come here. Come on. All right, ready? So what did you learn?
Learned that Ryan Prager's the best pitcher in baseball.
Okay, he learned that. Kate?
I learned that the Aggies are 2-0 in Omaha for the first time ever to start it.
That is true. All right, so we had Richard Zane on the show. We had Ryan Browninger on the show. We had Billy Liucci on the show. We had Tom Hart on the show. We had Boomer White on the show. It's the Rewind. Check it.
Richard, obviously, you don't know this. And as of we speak right now, Schlossnagle may not even know this, but you cover him. So give us your best guess on how he's going to juggle the lineup if Jace can't go.
Well, obviously that's a big if, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last night post game, Coach Schlossnagle did say they're in wait and see mode, and they've got they had about 48 hours from the time the game ended or from the time the injury sustained to work through it. They'll get some more information on him. We'll probably talk to Coach Schlossnagle and maybe a player or two later today. They'll probably have a press conference at some point this afternoon before practicing. I am optimistic he's going to be able to play, and maybe that's a little bit hopeful. But if he's not, right, I think the way you saw it, at least defensively, is going to be the way it's going to have to be with your two freshmen as the corner outfielders. And as far as the lineup goes, man, I think you probably put Appel at 2, Grahovic at 3, and you figure out somebody to put in the leadoff spot. Maybe that's Caden Kent or Caden Sorrell. I think both of those guys have been going pretty well of late and having pretty solid ABs. And I mean, Caden Kent, what a postseason he's had beyond the grand slam against Oregon. He has a 2-run single yesterday. He's been much better than I anticipated, and the Aggies have really needed it. So it would be very interesting to see the way they line him up on Wednesday if Jace Lavallette's unable to go. But fingers crossed we don't have to find out the answer to that, OB.
One of those decisions is going to be on Jace Lavalette and his hamstring situation. Have you ever had a hamstring issue that's cost you some time? I'm sure you've had some kind of strain at some point.
Yeah, I have. I've had a quad and a hamstring issue, and I would say that both of them were high hamstring, high quad, which means that's up kind of more towards the top of the leg. It looked like Jace may have grabbed behind his knee. I don't know the extent of his injury, so I don't. If y'all know more than I do, forgive me. But it can be extremely scary if something pops. However, I have felt tweaks behind the knee on a hamstring that feels very uncomfortable, but doesn't feel like it could hinder me from playing. It's a lesser extent of a hamstring injury. And so the fact that he grabbed his bat and took another at bat and got on the on-deck circle told me that it wasn't, going to put him out for a long time, and he thought he could push through it. So my hope is that this is just a rest, a rehab, give me some time, and I'll be able to kind of continue to work through this and not maybe that high hamstring that can totally, put you out for weeks.
How about Hayden Schott? He's been hot. I mean, a guy that is playing on one leg, injured, but finding ways to contribute in major ways.
Oh, I mean, Hayden Schott, he just finds barrels and he hits line drives. And that was, when I played, that was kind of my philosophy. I found that you got a lot of hits if you just hit the ball hard and you kept it out of the air. And, man, it seems like every ball he hits is 100 miles an hour off the bat, and it can go anywhere from all around the infield, third, all around the first. And I think when you do that, you give yourself a great chance to contribute, to get on base, to get RBIs, which he's done. But he's doing it hurt too. And so I love it. It's a veteran leader stepping up. And I think that gives, the rest of his team in the dugout a lot of excitement and hope as you have guys that need to step up in clutch situations. And boys, he done it every time he swings at a pitch. It seems like it's over the plate. It comes off his bat hard.
So we have not seen a home run since Caden Kent's home run. This team has not lost in the NCAA tournament. And if I were to say that to you, like there's been 3 games since the home run, and look at the way they're playing, I don't know if anybody would have believed it.
No, I think that because the answer is, well, look how the pitching staff has picked up the slack, right? And look how the bullpen has picked up the slack. And you've got an incredible closer, but that's a lot of pressure to put on a guy when he's coming out there in the 8th inning, and then he's got to work his way around a guy like Jack Caglione or Ashton Wilson, guys for that Florida team who are playing magnificent baseball right now, and you're trying to do it at 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, it's probably less stressful for the players because they're used to playing early morning, late night games, whether it be, summer ball, travel ball, tournaments, Lake Point, all this stuff, or Hoover. But I think it stands out to fans, right? Because they're like, whoa, this is different. This is weird. I should be in bed right now, but I'm up watching baseball. But I think that's all part of winning games and being as close to a professional as you can is dealing with the elements. So kudos to the pitching staff for getting that done.
I don't know that I remember a more significant defensive shakeup in a game of that magnitude. I mean, the way they had to shake up their defense is like what you do when you're up on, and I know they played a close game against them, but like, Prairie View or Nicholls State or Tarleton in a midweek game when you're up, 12-3 in the 7th inning. Like, that was the kind of amount of defensive changes you saw just from that one injury. It was crazy. They're on their 3rd right fielder in essentially, 3 games, right? Or 4 games, 3rd right fielder in 4 games. Gent goes from 2nd to 3rd, and Bell comes in, who's going to be a great player, and hasn't seen much action like that this year as a true freshman. You move Grahovic to left field, where I don't think we've ever seen him. I mean, that's just insane amount of position changes, and it wasn't like they had to hold up for an inning. They had to hold up for a third of a baseball game. And they did that. I think there was the one error, and then great play by Kent to wipe it out, on the next hitter. So everyone stepped up, man. Up and down the lineup, Camarillo with that run-scoring double, and then you had Kent with his massive hit. You had Schott getting it going. I mean, Teddy Burton with a couple of knocks. Appel was pretty freaking incredible in that game, both behind the plate and then these guys. If you think they're not more than the 3 big sluggers at the top of the lineup and Prager, then you haven't watched this baseball team. And by now, I think everybody's watched them and everybody's aware of that. But I think even we, as fans and those covering, when you've got a Friday night ace and when you've got 3 guys that combined for 80 home runs basically this year, 75 home runs, it's easy to get lost in that. But this is a team. This is a team. And with those 2 pitchers last night, if you got to throw Oshtenbeck for 5 innings tomorrow night, you can do it. Quartet, they are that effort to only throw 2, and that to me, that effort last night sets you up to get through this thing in one game. And it's going to be hard. It really is. Look, you're either going to face that Florida lineup again, or you're going to face a Kentucky team that probably feels like they got a lot to prove after getting smacked around, in the second half of that game.
Billy,
that's an elite Kentucky team and a good Florida team. You're going to have to beat one of them.
All right, Riley, tell the people what they should do, but you got to get close.
Like, comment, subscribe, and do it all over again and again and again.
What in the hell was that? All right, we'll see you next time.